We seek refuge in God from the outset Satan, in the name of God, the most exalted. Peace and salutation upon Prophet Muhammad and his progeny. Welcome to your show once again. The program is called Quran and Today's Life. We are talking about the Holy Quran and today's living and the contemporary issues we're involved with it in our daily life and how we can take advantage from this Holy Quran. As you were with us in last session, we were talking about how we can talk to people according to Holy Quran. Holy Quran tells us many things and helps us to understand many details for our living, today living, and we can grasp many things from it. But today we have invited one of the teachers in Islamic Seminary of Home, who is called Mr. Ziyai, Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin Ziyai. Let's go to him and have his introductory word. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to your show. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let me say hello to the audiences, and I wish for them the best, and inshallah this discussion will be good for them.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for your time. So let's begin today with the parents. We would like to know about the parents. Does the Holy Quran say something about the parents, how to conduct with them, how to behave with them, how to talk even to them? Would you elaborate about this case?
Okay. Of course, as you remember, we spoke about the way of speaking to people in the Holy Quran. And we promised that, inshallah, we will discuss about the family, and especially about parents, and how we should conduct with them. And of course, you know that parents are the basis of the family. Family are dependent on them, and if a man and a woman marry each other, they became a family. And in this case, they are one who start the family. So we first speak about these two, and how their children, or for example me as a child, how should I conduct with my parents? Of course, in the Holy Quran we have lots of verses in this regard. You know, maybe about 40 or 50 verses or more. And in different chapters, for example, we have some verses in chapter Baqarah, in chapter An-Nisa, chapter Isra, chapter Luqman, and etc. But I want to highlight just two verses, because we don't have enough time to speak about all these verses. Just about two verses, and a little elaborate about them, how these verses mean and what they are meaning.
So would you recite for us?
Of course, yes, surely. They are the verse 23 and 24 of the chapter Isra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in two verses, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. Of course, in these two verses, there are a lot of orders or advices to us, and all are about the parents. Just the first order is about the God Himself. It says, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. Firstly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we have told you that you should not obey or worship anybody but God. You should just worship God. And exactly after ordering these important thing in the religion, in the faith, it is the base of the religion, that God is one and we should worship Him. We should devote ourselves to Him. Exactly after this order, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to obey your parents. You see that exactly after obeying God is obeying parents.
Why Almighty God is emphasizing on the supreme rank of the parents?
Of course, let me say that this is not just one time in the Holy Quran in this case. There are 4 times. We have 4 times in this case that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exactly after ordering His worship tells us that you should obey your parents. And you know that the parents are somehow they are the cause of our creation, because you know that our body improve in the body of our mother, and our sperm is in the body of our parent, of our father. So they are somehow our creator. In Arabic we say Rabb, and we have some traditions that say they are your Rabb. Of course, it is not the God, but it means that they are
a trainer. Or?
Yes, no, they are somehow are in a case that they have a role in our creation, not the only just one role. No, they are a part of our creation. That if they were not, we weren't.
The causality of our, creation, they are.
Yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exactly orders us that after His obeying, we should obey our parents. And in these 2 verses that I recited, I have highlighted 6 orders that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. The first is that we should do favor to our parents. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Exactly after ordering to obey Himself, He tells us that you should do favor for your parents. And after that, أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Whenever they get old, you should not insult them. Tell them off means I'm angry with you, I'm tired. It means this. And we have a tradition from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam that says, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew something fewer than off, He would say that.
Less than off. Okay.
Yes, less than off, He would say that. But there is nothing lesser than off.
Okay, thank you. But please hold on here. Let's have intermission, and we'll be back again to you. Okay, dear audience, we'll be back again after a short break. Okay, welcome back. We are talking about the Holy Quran, and more especially about the parents in Holy Quran. And our invitee today is describing more on this topic. So he was telling us how we have to conduct and behave with our parents and what are the reasons for this regard. Okay, let's go back to him and know more about this. Okay, sir, you were talking about this and telling us we have to be very, we can say, respectful to our parents. So would you elaborate more?
Okay, we were talking about the advices that Holy Quran tells us in the verses 23 and 24 of the chapter Isra, and we told two of them. And the third one is that you should not annoy your parent, and then you should speak with them in a kind way, kindly, in a good manner. And then you should have courtesy in front of them. And the last one is that you should pray for them. وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. Ask God that, oh my dear God, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please forgive them. Arhamhuma, forgive them, because they improved me during my childhood. And now I'm a big man, and I have wealth. I'm wealthy, and I have lots of facilities, and blah blah. So when I have nothing, and I was just a little child, they keep me, and now you should pray for them. I should pray for them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep them, and inshallah forgive their sins and blah blah. But we have about the courtesy that.
Okay, sir. Before going to courtesy, I would like to ask you, what do you mean by this irritation and annoying parents? Is it just beating, insulting, or something else, maybe less than this?
Okay, insulting, or annoying, it means that, of course, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says you should not say an off in front of your parents, of course it includes that you should not beat them. You are not allowed to shout at them. You are not allowed to, for example, say something that is not respectful to them.
So you mean by this off, for example, saying, oh, Dad, what do you say? Something like this?
You mean, of course, it depends on how we say it. Sometimes I said, oh, Dad, what are you saying? But sometimes my way of speaking is in a way that my dad is insulted. Mm-hmm. And for example, I say, oh, Dad, what do you say? Mm-hmm. Or you mean that my father feels that I want to insult him and I don't respect him. In this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that you should not go further. And the board here is
the border.
off. Mm-hmm. Yes. So the border here is off. And that's it. About of course, bidding is not included here. You mean that?
Okay. So let's go to courtesy. And what is courtesy?
Okay. Courtesy means that you should, for example, have a habit in front of your parents that they think that you are a good boy, you are a good, for example, child to them. And let me give you a story here. That we have a story in Quran.
That would be nice.
That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in chapter Yusuf, speak about this story. That, of course, it's a long story. That from the beginning of it, Yusuf is born, and when he come to the point that he's a king of Egypt. But just a point in this story, when Joseph was the king of Egypt, he invited his family. That it included his parent and his father, especially. He invited them to Egypt. So they came to Egypt, and Joseph went to the borders of the city to greet them. When Jacob alayhi salam came to the city, Joseph was on a horse. Suddenly, when he saw his parent, for example, his father, of course, he would say hello, he would say salam alaikum, and come down from his house, his horse, and so. But just a thought came to his mind that he said to himself, think, Joseph, I'm the king of the Egypt. I'm the ruler of this country. And Jacob, of course, he is my father, but he's an old man, and he was in some.
He was proud of himself. Yeah.
Yes, he a little was proud of himself, and he hesitated to come down from the horse. Exactly on that moment, the Gabriel came to Joseph and said to him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to expand your hand. Joseph expanded his hand, and suddenly a light expelled from his hand and ascended to the sky. Joseph was shocked. What was that? And he asked Gabriel, what was that? Gabriel said to him that it was the light of prophethood, and it means that there will be no more prophet from your progeny, and it was because you didn't show courtesy in front of your father. Of course, Joseph didn't show any, for example, something that is bad in front of his father. Just a thought came to his mind, and he, for some seconds, thought that he is superior than his father. This is his punishment. Because he's a prophet, he should be the most respectful person to his father, and of course, the most person who is in out, he should
be more
careful, and the punishment is more hard.
Humble,
course.
yeah. Okay, thank you for your explanation. Let's hold on here. Let's have a short intermission and break. We'll be back again to you. Okay, dear audience, we'll be back again after a short break. Okay, we are back. We're still on the issue of parents according to Holy Quran. Okay, let's go to our expert and know about it more. Okay, sir, thank you for your explanation. We have enjoyed a lot up to now and so far. But I would like to know about the parents. When you're talking about the parents according to Holy Quran, it just includes Muslim parents, pious parents, or you mean as well non-believers, or we can say Christians parents, they are included. Imagine that I am a Muslim, or a guy is a Muslim, but his parents they are Christians. Okay. How about them?
It's a good question here, and of course it comes to the mind of everybody. That of course Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says in the Holy Quran that there is no difference between the pious parents, Muslim parents, or non-Muslim, and there is no difference that, for example, parents are Christians or Jewish or Jew or some other religions, or idol worshippers.
Okay.
Or idol worshippers. There is no difference, and you should, in every situation, respect them, and we have a verse in the Holy Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا واتبع سبيل من أناب إليه. It's in the chapter Luqman, verse 15, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if your parents are mushrik, are a non-believer,
Infidels.
Yes, infidels, you are not allowed to insult them and annoy them and say to yourself that, okay, they are mushrik and I'm Muslim and our religion are different, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want. No, it is not allowed. And every order that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the about the Muslim parents are exactly, they are again about the mushrik parents, about the non-Muslim parents. And we should obey them, we should, for example, respect them and blah. And
excuse me, sir, but something again came to my mind that is about, when, okay, we talked about the parents, they are not Muslims or non-believers, okay, all right. But how about the case? Maybe the parents are Muslims, but they're insulting, they're shouting, or maybe they are non-believers, they're preventing you and restraining you to practice your religion. How about this case, according to Holy Quran?
Okay, of course, you see, there are two groups here, two ways. In this one case, parents are Muslim and or mushrik, and they have bad habits. They don't respect their children, or for example, they get angry soon, and so. And in this case, we should observe every of these orders, any of these orders, and we are not allowed to break them, because my father, for example, doesn't have a good habit, doesn't have a good manner in his speaking or in his doing. I'm not allowed to break his respectfulness. But if they order me, let me tell a story here. Of course, it just came to my mind that one of the followers of the Holy Prophet is somebody who is called Uwais al-Qarani. He was living in Yemen, a place near the Saudi Arabia now, and his job was keeping camels, or he was a camel owner, and he has a mother who was so loved him. His mother loved him so much, and she didn't want him, for example, to leave her for a day or for 2 days. No, she just wanted him to stay with her all the time, and always became a Muslim. Of course, how he came Muslim,
Converted to Islam, okay.
Yes, consumes time, and we ignore it. But he changed his religion to Muslim, and he was a Christian before it. He came to Islam, and one day he wanted to come to Medina and see the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family. He asked his mother to let him to go to Medina. His mother told him that I'll let you to go to Medina, but you should stay there just a half of a day. Whether you see the Holy Prophet or not, you just stay half a day in Medina and return. They always said yes, and he left the house, and he left Yemen and came to Medina. When he came to Medina, the Holy Prophet was not in Medina. He was out of Medina, and always came to the Holy Prophet's house and stayed there for some hours, and he didn't saw the Prophet. But time was over. Time was over, and he told the people who was in the house that please tell to the Holy Prophet that I came here, and please tell him that I say to him salam. And he left the house of the Prophet and went to Yemen. When the Holy Prophet returned to Medina, exactly when he entered his house, he looked around and said, I see a light here. What is this? Is somebody came here? The people said to Holy Prophet, yes, somebody came here, and his name was Uwais, and he just stayed here for a few hours, and just after that left the house. The Holy Prophet said some words here, some sentences here, that they are so important. Of course, his mother was not Muslim. The mother of the Uwais's mother was a Christian, and he didn't accept Islam, but Uwais accepted. The Holy Prophet says something here that it is so important. He says, إني لأجد روح الرحمن من قبل اليمن وتفوح روايح الجنة من قبل قرن أويس. The Holy Prophet says, verily, exactly, surely, I smell the wind of the heaven from the side of the Yemen, and I see the light of heaven from the house of the Uwais. So, in this story, I think that so clearly shows us that if the parents are not Muslim, but they have somehow bad habits, for example, his mother doesn't want him to leave her, and for example, for a day or more, but always should obey him. And Prophet, say the people that his job he's doing was good. Okay. Of course, an exception here is
because we're running out of the time.
Okay,
so
there is an exception here that I have to mention it. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. If your parents, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim, it is no difference here. If they tells you that you, for example, do this sin,
okay,
or you should leave Islam, or some cases in like that, you are not allowed to obey them.
Okay.
And this is the border of obeying the parents. Okay. So we have an exception that the obeying of parents is accepted.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your elaboration. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, dear audience. I hope to see you again in this program in next episode. Please follow this program, and thanks for watching us. Till then, have a good time.